Watching GVTV News.
Thanks, Amy, and I'm Randy Hansen. In today's world news headlines, Annan steps down from Syria mission. Rebels claim gains in Aleppo. And North Korea seeks food aid after major floods. And GOP tax plan favoring the wealthy is trickle-down fairy dust, Obama says. And Romney suggests outsourcing experience will help him win back U.S. jobs. And U.S. shuts down Tennessee uranium facility after anti-nuclear protesters infiltrate. And Senate defeats revised cybersecurity bill. And U.S. to oppose UN regulation of Internet. And psychiatrists said that the warning of this shooting in Aurora, an African-American shot dead while handcuffed in police vehicle. GVTV News is broadcast in Grass Valley Television, a division of Rural Colony Television Network, whose focus is on community involvement. We also air on NCTV, but before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's first world news story, the UN Arab League Special Envoy to Syria, Kofi Annan, has announced his resignation after failing to bring an end to more than a year of violence. On Thursday, Annan said both sides, particularly the Syrian government, had failed to respect his ceasefire plan. And he said the increasing militarization on the ground and the clear lack of unity in the Security Council have fundamentally changed the circumstances for the effective exercise of my role. Yet the bloodshed continues, most of all because of the Syrian government's intransigence and continuing refusal to implement the six-point plan, and also because of an escalating military campaign of the opposition, all of which is compounded by the disunity of the international community. Annan's resignation will take effect at the end of the month. His departure comes amidst fierce clashes in Aleppo, where rebels say they now control more than half of that city. United Nations says North Korea has requested urgent food aid following major floods that hit the country last month. North Korea says it needs assistance in areas where at least 119 people have died and tens of thousands were made homeless. The flood devastated infrastructure and crops, compounding North Korea's existing problems with shortage of food. And on the campaign trail, President Obama continues to swing through battleground states Thursday with a stop in Florida. Speaking to supporters in Orlando, Obama said Republicans' backing of tax cuts favoring the wealthy is trickle-down fairy dust. President Obama said, "Look, Orlando, we know better. They have tried to sell us this trickle-down tax cut fairy dust before, and guess what? It didn't work then. It will not work now. It is not a plan to create jobs. It's not a plan to reduce the deficit. It's not a plan to build our middle class. It is not a plan to move our economy forward. It takes us backward to a place we don't want to be." Republican candidate Mitt Romney was in Colorado in an apparent effort to confront the Obama campaign's focus on his links to shipping U.S. jobs overseas. Romney suggests his familiarity with outsourcing makes him well poised to return jobs to the United States. And he said, "I understand how businesses decide to grow, when they decide to shrink, why they decide to go overseas, how they decide to come back here. And I understand that it takes what it takes to get America working again. I understand that it is a small business that create jobs in America, and people create jobs, not government. And I'm going to get America working again." And U.S. government's lone site for handling and processing weapons-grade uranium has been temporarily shut down after anti-nuclear activists infiltrated the premises. 3 activists, including an 82-year-old nun, reportedly cut through fences to paint slogans and throw blood on the wall of the Y-12 nuclear weapons plant in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. The Y-12 facility possesses uranium for new hydrogen bombs. Calling themselves Transform Now Plowshares, the 3 activists appeared before a U.S. magistrate judge in Knoxville on Thursday. The facility will remain shut down for at least until next week. U.S. officials have maintained no nuclear materials were jeopardized, but experts have marveled at how a small group could have infiltrated a high-risk site. One former congressional investigator and security counsel called the breach the worst we've ever seen. The Senate has defeated a revised version of the Obama administration backing Cybersecurity Act. Failing to reach the 60 votes needed for passage, measure would have directed the Department of Homeland Security to conduct cybersecurity risk assessments of critical infrastructure, carry out responses. Bill had been updated to reflect a number of privacy concerns after President Obama threatened to veto earlier this year. The new provision called for annual disclosures of the information collected by the government agencies and would granted U.S. citizens to sue the government in the case of violations. The Obama administration has confirmed it will oppose any proposal to hand regulatory control of the Internet to the United Nations. Proposals have circulated to bring the Internet under UN auspices at a conference at the International Telecommunications Regulation in Dubai later this year. But in a new position paper, the United States said it would reject UN authority and continue with its current system of oversight by the Department of Commerce. The psychiatrist who treated Aurora shooting suspect James Holmes has reportedly disclosed she had warned officials at Holmes' school, University of Colorado, about his alarming behavior more than a month before the massacre. Dr. Lynn Fenton said her warnings went unheeded and that no action had been taken because Holmes was in the process of dropping out of school. The mother of an African-American man who died while handcuffed in the back of a police vehicle in Arkansas is demanding justice for her son. 21-year-old Chavis Carter was detained on Saturday after allegedly being found with marijuana. Police say he was handcuffed and placed in the back of a police cruiser, at which point he accidentally shot himself in the back of the head while reaching for a gun. In an interview, Carter's mother, Teresa Carter, cast doubts on the police's claim. She said, "I think they killed him. My son wasn't suicidal. They searched him twice. I just want to know what really happened." Carter's mother says the police account is further questionable because he was shot right through the right temple despite being left-handed. Shortly before his death, Carter had phoned his girlfriend to tell her he would contact her from jail. And that's it for World News today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us. GVTV News.
Soundcheck Music Center, the Rock and Roll Connection. We have guitars, amps, drum equipment, sound accessories, lessons, and repairs. We are located at 671 Maltman Drive, Grass Valley. 530-272-7236, open 7 days a week.
No one needs anyone, they don't even just pretend. John is an American. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world.
That's right, it's time for the police blotter. Pictures in the blotter not from these actual events, but used for visual aid only. These public records are obtained from daily logs issued from Nevada County Law Enforcement, Grass Valley Police Department on Wednesday. 9:33 a.m., a report was taken of drug activity on the 200 block of South Church Street. At 10:35 a.m., a report was taken of 2 cans of charcoal fluid being found in a room at 600 block of South Auburn Street. 12:53 p.m., a report of an argument that turned into a fight at 400 block of Lamar Court was taken. And at 1:38 p.m., a report of stolen and vandalism to a car on the 100 block of Litton Drive was taken. 3:29 p.m., a report was taken of stolen alcohol on the 100 block of Neal Street. At 4:09 p.m., a report was taken of two men fighting and throwing things at each other at Condon Park. Neither man wanted to file charges. At 8:04 p.m., a report was taken prowler on 200 block of South Church Street. At 8:07 p.m., a report of a stolen car was taken on the 300 block of Sutton Way. The car was stolen the night before. At 8:10 p.m., a report was taken of a strong arm robbery in Sutton Way. The caller alleged $250 was taken, but investigation found that this was a marijuana deal from some months ago, and no weapon or physical contact was made during the collection of a debt. At 9:33 p.m., a report was taken of a man locking himself in a room he did not rent. He was gone when officers responded, but was later cited for suspicion of trespassing. And Thursday, 12:26 a.m., a report was taken of a woman biting a man, and a man said she was on the ground around 200 block of Fittick Lane. At Fittick Lane, the man was arrested for suspicion of spousal abuse. At 12:34 a.m., a report of a man out of control banging and screaming on the door from 200 block of North School Street was taken. And Nevada County Sheriff's Office on Wednesday, 8:47 a.m., a report of credit card fraud was taken from 15,000 block of Cary Drive. At 9:58 a.m., a report was taken of stolen jet skis on Charles Drive. At 10:09 a.m., a report was taken of vandalism to some signs in Coney Drive. At 11:51 a.m., a report was taken of someone stealing a gold cart and a husband's clothes while he was swimming. His wife called from Wildflower Drive and Pleasant Valley Road. At 12 p.m., a report was taken of a stolen purse and fraudulent use of credit card in 13,000 block of Gold Country Drive. At 12:45 p.m., a report was taken of trespassing on 21,000 block of Spur B. At 1:18 p.m., a report taken of a phone account being opened fraudulently on the 21,000 block of Donald Court. At 1:53 p.m., a report of a school shed being broken into at 13,000 block of Newtown Road. And 1:58 p.m., a report was taken of an assault with a car July 18th came in on 22,000 block of Egbert Hill Road. At 2 p.m., a report was taken from a boy who took alcohol through his father to the ground after he found out and ran away on Wolf Road. And 2:09 p.m., a report was taken of a bunch of cars parked illegally at Purton Crossing. At 3:56 p.m., a report was taken of hearing gunshots at 11,000 block of Yuba Crest Drive. At 7:26 p.m., a report was taken from a woman saying her husband and dog was attacked by a larger dog. She was taking the dog in for injuries, and her husband did not need medical attention. At 8:06 p.m., a report of a tree leaning on power lines was taken from McCourtney and Woodlake Roads. At 9:01 p.m., a report was taken of finding drugs in a public restroom from 10,000 block of Combeard Road. At 11:57 p.m., a report of a bag of donated materials being stolen was taken from the 18,000 block of Cherokee Road. And that's it for the blotter today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. You guessed it, it's us. GVTV News. Christopher's Old World Deli and Catering Company has brought its delicious food and service downtown Grass Valley. Like desserts? They got 'em. You like international style lunches? They got 'em. Christopher's Deli and Catering for parties, get-togethers, weddings, or whatever. Open 7 days a week. In today's local news headlines, Governor Brown says use money to keep parks open. And Grass Valley Police and Nevada City Police look at networking together. And body of Carson City doctor recovered from Sierra Nevadas. And bluegrass event with Spirit Empowerment Center. In a story out of Sacramento, Governor Brown pledged to work with California state legislature to direct millions of dollars in state funds to keep parks open, fix serious park maintenance problems, and match donor contributions. He also thanked all the Californians who have contributed time and money to save state parks. Much remains to be done to keep our parks open, said Governor Brown. The disclosure that the Parks Department had millions in additional revenue is mixed. It's better to have more money than less, but it's totally unacceptable for park personnel to squirrel away public funds. I extend my deepest appreciation for the donors who have come to the aid of our parks in this time of need. I ask for their patience as we take all necessary steps to make sure this never happens again. Specifically, Governor Brown called for $20 million from State Parks and Recreation Fund, the SPRF, to be used to make critically needed maintenance fixes to keep the parks from closing, for example, fixing water and waste treatment facilities, and that left as is will cause park closures, if left as is would do that, and establish a matching fund for contributions so that every donor knows that every dollar they gave will go further. The State Parks and Recreation Fund is a one-time fund that can only be used for one-time cost. Governor is also seeking a $10 million appropriations from Proposition 84 funds for immediate maintenance projects. We are grateful for our generous, committed donors. I can't thank them enough, said California Natural Resource Agency Secretary John Laird. The good news is that we will have more to spend on parks this year. Bad news is the problem is much bigger than that. State parks will have over $1 billion in deferred maintenance and ongoing costs. To ensure more sound and accountable financial reporting, the Department of Finance is requiring all departments to follow new procedures to reconcile and confirm balances between the Comptroller's Office and the government's budget, in addition to implementing these new procedures. The Department of Finance Office of State Audits and Evaluations is conducting a thorough audit of all park fiscal actions. Investigations into the park's funds are ongoing. July 20th, the California Natural Resource Agency announced that the Parks Department had not reported $20 million in the State Parks and Recreation Fund, $34 million in Off-Highway Vehicle Fund to the Department of Finance. Attorney General launched an investigation at the request of Governor Brown, who ordered a full Parks Department audit by the Department of Finance. The governor also accepted the resignation of the then Parks Director, Ruth Coleman, appointed a new acting interim director, and directed the dismissal of 3 senior park employees. Of the $54 million total, $20 million is eligible for appropriation by the legislature for management, protection, planning, and acquisition. And a lot of thanks to Alden Olmsted, who helped out on the parks. Nevada City Police Chief is working closely with the Grass Valley Police Department in developing a joint operation agreement, or a JOA, to cover dispatch, supervision, and share investigative services, evidence, and school resource officers, the Nevada City Agenda packet reads. This type of arrangement eventually leads to a higher level of services to the communities, eliminating of duplication of services and cost savings for both communities. We believe the current efforts will achieve the same beneficial results without losing our local police service operations, which is highly desirable in Nevada City. That was stated. There is no plan to outsource police services to either the Grass Valley Police Department or County Sheriff Office. However, meanwhile, a joint operation agreement is up for discussion between Grass Valley and Nevada City for greater cooperation in fire protection and emergency medical services. Now, to Three Rivers, California, authorities said they've recovered the body of a Carson City doctor who went missing while climbing in a mountain in the Inyo National Forest in California. Officials from Kings Canyon National Park said Friday that the body of 60-year-old Gary Danksworth was found in rugged Palisades section of the Sierra containing 4 of California's highest peaks. Dankworth had left friends Saturday afternoon to climb the 13,855-foot Norman Clyde Peak. His friends hiked out and called for help when Dankworth failed to return Sunday morning. Family friend Diane Pepka told the Nevada Appeal newspaper that Dankworth was a wonderful doctor who loved his wife and family and had great moral values. Rangers said more than 40 people participated in the search and recovery efforts that ended late Thursday night. And here's something that's going on around town. You should try to check it out if you can. Summer benefit concert benefits people with mental illness. It's a summer concert Friday, August 17th, between 6 and 8 p.m. at the Spirit Peer Empowerment Center at 276 Gates Place, Grass Valley. That's behind Lumberjack's Restaurant overlooking the Brunswick Basin. Past Due and Playable will play bluegrass music at 6:45, and Professor Richard Gill, the last of the old-time medicine men, will entertain at 6 p.m. It'll be outdoors, and you can listen to music. Suggested donations $5. Food and drinks for sale at the event. Please bring a chair or a blanket. Spirit Peer Empowerment Center provides free peer support services to people with mental illness. Proceeds benefit the Spirit Center. It's a great program up there. Past Due and Playable is a wonderful local bluegrass and Texas swing band. We're looking forward to that badass bass player, Juan Brown, a former Ragged But Right. Or they might still be around too, I'm not sure. Master showman Richard Gill will mesmerize you with his portrayal of the professor, an 1800s pitchman commonly known as the medicine man. His performance, Gill portrays the railroad man, the prospector, and more. His tonic is a mixture of dreams and people who have followed the dreams with a little love and laughter thrown in. Gill, a resident of Nevada County, is a product of theater and early television. He has been touring the U.S. and Canada with his original one-man musical show for over 30 years. This will be a great event, and they need your support, so try to go there. Just remember, August 17th between 6 and 8. This next story comes from Jeff Pauline's Sierra Foothills online site, which we must say is one of the best informative places for community in Nevada County. We concur with his editor's note. The Union got the story about Grass Valley City Administrator Dan Holler being a finalist for a county manager job in Churchill County, Nevada, where Fallon is located, from its sister paper, the Lahontan Daily News, which reportedly is a day earlier from public meeting. Both stories are locked behind the paywall, but the information is on public documents from Churchill County where anyone can read them. When you read Dan's application letter, you wonder why the Grass Valley City Council would let him go. He is being honest in outlining his strengths and accomplishments. You always wonder what would have prompted a well-regarded administrator countywide, such as Dan, to look elsewhere. And Jeff said in his article, that's what he said in the article, and he also mentioned in his article how Dan, in his letter to Churchill County in Nevada, he was also interested to see the reference that Dan listed. Some people who have challenged the old guard ways, but in a highly respectful and logical way. Could be a power play going on in Grass Valley between the old guard and the ones with fresh, more progressive ideas. People in Grass Valley ought to listen to what's going on behind the scenes with 3 city council seats up for grabs in November. Real estate and the construction business isn't coming back anytime soon, and reopening the Idaho-Maryland mine seems like a very long shot. So what direction is Grass Valley going to take to jumpstart its economy? That's the question. The city is at a crossroads, and Jeff Palin wrote in another article, Grass Valley Goes Its Own Way, which is also a good article. You should check him out on his site. As for Dan, Jeff, and GVTV News, well, we are just behind 100% whatever Dan Holler does. He's done a very good job here, and under the circumstances, with a positive and professional attitude. Dan's experience is not unique either. It's what a lot of well-meaning professionals experience when they walk into the buzzsaw of small-town politics in our western county. Well said. When Dan first came to Grass Valley, we were a little vocal on his pay scale here at GVTV. But I must admit, he has been money well spent, as he has done a great job, and regardless of the good old boys. And that's it for local news today. We would like to thank Amy Goodman, Reuters, Associated Press, Ubinet, Sierra Foothills Report, local law enforcement, the Union, and Jeff Palin, and others for the sourcing of our news, and you for watching. Remember, we are only visual news media in Nevada County, and we are free for you to watch 7 days a week. If you have local stories and you would like to have them aired on our news, please email us with a limit of 750 words. If you have pictures, please include them in the email to grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com. Please include some type of contact information for verification of facts. You can watch this broadcast, Comcast Cable, NCTV Channel 11, Nevada County, 8 a.m., 3 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. Saturday, and 8 p.m. Sunday. Sudden Lake Channel 16 in Truckee and Alta Sierra, it's also on. We're also streamed on internet at NCTV's Digital Media Center website, nevadacountytv.org, and our site, gvtv.org. And don't forget Grass Valley Television. It plays 24/7 on the net, grassvalleytelevision.com. It has other content, a lot of interesting stuff. We post to Facebook, YouTube, Blip.tv, and many other podcast sites, and we have RSS feed and a video podcast on iTunes. Just search under video podcast for GVTV News. Grass Valley Television also videotapes local events around Nevada County. If you have a need for video, you can contact us for more info, grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com or 362-8889. This show produced by Grass Valley Television of Rural County's television network, and we hope you will stay tuned in our new season, as we are going to spice up the news in the future. Please email us with ideas and comments, as we like to hear from you, and like us on Facebook if you can. We have about 4 or 5 different sites on there, and you can always get our news daily on our player, and you can embed it on your site if you want. And due to the lack of underwriters, we will be doing our shows 3 shows a week now. They're playing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday editions. We will expand when we get more community support. Here's our newest underwriter, Political Smile, the Empower Network viral blog. This unique site has several portals, like a Facebook page and Facebook groups, 2 of them, and 2 blog sites, and are going to be tied with GVTV News and Grass Valley Television and Rural County's television network. Best landing zone is the website on the net, politicalsmile.wordpress.com. That's politicalsmile.wordpress.com. That's no W in front of that. Plenty of laughs and information. That's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Grass Valley Television works hard to bring you news and entertainment from around the world and local content you do not get on mainstream media. We want to expand and improve what you see, and we need your help. If you support this program and want exposure for your business, then this is a win-win situation. Underwriting is important for us. For information, just email us, grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com.